Hi, boys and girls. You just listened to the story or the autobiography, Malala's Magic Pencil, written by Malala Yousafzai. And so that makes it an autobiography because she wrote this story about her own life. Now, in biographies, usually there is a separate author, and the author chooses to write about a famous person. Okay? We're going to be using the autobiography about Malala Yousafzai, and we're going to be using her story to sequence major events that happened in her life. Now, Malala Yousafzai is such an amazing girl, and she did great things for her people in her community and girls all around the world. And so we are going to be inspired by her story today. Our success criteria is we're going to be using time order words to help us sequence the major events in her life. If you have not read this or listened to this story, you must do that first before you continue watching the rest of this instructional video. Now, one thing I want to make sure that you know is that the timeline of Malala Yousafzai's life is going to start at 3 minutes and 15 seconds. The beginning part of the story is so interesting for us to listen to and read, but I want you to start the timeline starting here because it is here in her life where major things start changing for her. This part is about when she was young and gives us a lot of background knowledge. That's important. So please watch the whole thing. Now, once you finish watching it, you can always refer back to the video if you need to. And I also linked the story in words, starting at the point in her life where I want you to focus on. Okay? Now we're going to be, let me just erase this. We're going to be looking at this word bank here. The word bank is going to help us to include some keywords, and it will help us to develop our sentences and know what kinds of details to include. So we're going to start by just listening to a little bit.
Years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. But soon powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons.
All right, so let's see what happened. We heard that Malala worked really hard at school, but soon dangerous men with guns made it hard for her to go to school. And that was happening to everybody in the community, every girl in the community. Okay, let's continue reading. So the word bank says we might be using words like stopped, speak out, loved, and writing. Okay, so let's listen to that.
One by one, girls stopped coming to school. Abba, where are all the students? They don't feel safe here anymore, Johnny. How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought, they might help. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? I wrote about what it felt like to be scared to walk to school and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform.
All right. So I heard that girls stopped coming to school. Did you hear that happen? And they did that because they were scared. And Malala decided to speak out. But how? By writing. And she wrote a lot, and she wrote about how much she loved school and how much she missed being able to go there safely. So you guys are going to be coming up with the last two parts of this timeline. Next in the story, she starts to get very famous.